Welcome back to another coloring tutorial with Colleen Shawn here at Distinctive Touches. I've been talking about fabric folds and pleats, and in a previous video we did pleats on an image that had no distinct fabric folds or pleat lines in it. It was just a very non-detailed image, and we went ahead and put some pleats in it. Today I want to take it sort of to the next step and go a little bit more advanced, and we're going to take an image that actually has some tips and some hints for you already about where your fabric folds are going to be. And in this case we're not actually going to do pleats. Here we're just going to work on fabric folds, or the way fabric drapes. Okay? And in this magnolia image, little Tilda here is leaping for joy, and she's got some folds in the fabric of her dress, and we are going to use those to create this type of colored image. Okay, so we're going to break it down like we did with the last one, and we're actually going to look at this image here that gives you some sort of squiggly lines that gives you a basic idea of what your fabric folds, or where your fabric folds might be. Okay, so let's take a peek at this. And you can see you've got an up and down shape here. The first thing, or I guess the only thing you really need to do, is decide, are the folds that are down, are those away from you, or are they towards you? And in this case, we are going to say that these areas where it shoots down, those are going to be away from us. Where it shoots up, those are going to be towards the light source, or towards us. Okay? So, same basic idea. We're going to draw in where our fabric folds are going to be. So I have my dark marker here. This is a B26, and I am going to draw in where my darkest areas, my shadowed areas, are going to be, which would be those three areas. Okay? And now in this case, in the last case, I kept one side light, the other side shadowed. In this case, we're actually going to, because we want to have this part highlighted and this part shadowed, we're just going to expand these shadowed areas by sort of flicking or zigzagging. And again, this is going to be a back and forth process, so lots of steps, and so don't worry about what this looks like in the very beginning. Okay. So that was my darkest. Now I'm going to go with my medium, and I'm going to flick. I always tell my students, flick towards the light. So I'm flicking towards what will be the light area. And if your fabric folds actually have a very specific wave to them, you kind of want to follow that when you're doing your flicking. Okay, so my medium, I'm expanding my shadowed areas, flicking towards the light, and leaving those light areas white for now. Okay, that was B24. Now my B21, again from the medium towards the light, just expanding those fabric folds. Okay, so here you're not actually getting pleats, you're actually getting folds, which this is actually more common in what we see. And we're going to color that one all the way in. Okay? And so that's the basic idea. And when you're working on your actual image, you'll just keep going back and forth with this and expanding. So here's my dark again, flicking back and forth from the center towards my light. Again, following this curved shape with my strokes to make it as realistic as possible. Darkening and expanding, and then my medium. Again, flicking towards the light. And by flicking right at the ends here, notice I'm not going all the way into the middle of the dark. I'm not lightening up all of that dark. I'm just sort of blending those outside edges out. Okay. Flicking towards my light. Towards my light. I always say, go towards the light. And again, then back to my lightest color. Flicking towards my light, and I'm keeping, for now, again, I'm keeping that very, very center area where it's going to be the highlight. I'm keeping that white for now. Eventually I'll go over and fill it in with color, but because I want that really, really bright, I'm keeping that white. Okay. And then actually here, since this starts coming back down, this would actually have a dark spot to it. So that's my dark. Here's my medium, and technically I should be flicking. And my light. Because I didn't flick, I did a straight line. I've got a really hard line that I kind of have to blend out there. Okay. Then, when I'm all ready and I have those fabric folds ready to go, then I come in with my lightest and I go right over that highlighted area just once or twice, kind of flicking, just to smooth that all out. And I'm flicking towards or into both sides of my medium color here. Just sort of blending and smoothing that out. So when you're finished, you have some nice fabric folds that by looking at this, you're seeing that it's not a flat shape, but it actually, has this bump that goes up and down. Okay? So it's really that simple. We're going to go ahead and take this idea and translate it to an actual image. Like this, that already has some of these fabric folds and pleats hinted at for you. So go ahead and watch Fabric Folds Part 2 for the rest of the image.